Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across over to the West in particular and speak to one of our favourite football players. Of course, she plays over at East Fremantle at the moment. And of course, their team had a critical win on the weekend to keep their back-to-back championship premierships hopes alive with of course, a critical win over Swans Districts. And funny enough, they play them again this weekend as well in a cutthroat elimination final. And of course, and her name's Ruby. She joins us right now. Thanks, Ruby, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Tell us a bit about last week's game, because obviously I think you were down at half-time and didn't look like you were going to kick a goal at all. And then what happened in the second half?
Yeah, we sort of, it was a beautiful day. We could, conditions were perfect for us. And then first half, we just the Swans just stopped us from playing our style of footy that we like to play. And we just couldn't get a score on the board. They got a few quick goals in the first, I reckon it was in the first 10 minutes or so, sort of quick out the back goals. And then, we went in at half time and our coach Webber gave us a pretty stern talking to. And we came out, after the half and sort of changed the way we were going about it and got the game on our terms and sort of fought our way back into it, which was good. So ended up getting the win by 3 points, which was nice. So a bit close for comfort, and it was a pretty stressful last quarter, but no, it was a good fun game, and it was good for both teams to just, we've got a pretty good mutual respect for each other, East Freo and Swans. So it was good to, get the win this time. And it was weird after the game, we had presentations and awards post game, being in the room with them and you're having to say, well done, good luck next week, but not really, because we're playing you guys again. So we'll see you in a week's time in the exact same spot. Now,
I have to ask about the first half. Obviously, it was, you mentioned it was a beautiful day for it. But what I noticed on the scoreboard was that obviously, other than the 2 goals that Swan kicked in the first quarter, from there on, I guess no one really wanted to kick straight in front of goals, because I think the score at halftime was 5 behinds to 2 goals 6. I guess, Ruby, tell us what happened in that first half.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just we couldn't really. It's probably been a bit of an ongoing thing this year for us, is we have struggled with that scoreboard pressure. I mean, apart from round 1 where, I think we sort of blew South Freo out of the water a bit, it's been pretty hard, goals have been pretty hard to come by at the moment. So, but no, we're just glad we ended up getting it in the end. It wasn't for, any lack of opportunity. We were getting it down there. It's just, something for us to work on is converting, and it's something that will hurt us in finals if we don't get that scoreboard pressure on. And hopefully we can fix that coming into this week and hopefully into the rest of the finals.
Now, going into the game, obviously with what happened down in Mandurah the day before, where Peel beat Claremont to put themselves a final spot, did you sort of knew going into the game that if you lose, you're gone?
Yeah, we knew after the Peel and Claremont game that we sort of knew what the stakes were. So we knew that it was either do or die, and I don't think any of us were ready for that to be the end of the season yet. So I was sort of thinking to myself that I don't want to drink tonight, because whenever after your last game, obviously the team all goes out drinking. I just thought to myself, I don't want to be drinking tonight. I don't want this to be the last game that we have this season. We deserve a lot more than that. So sort of regathered at halftime and went back out, and thank God we got the win.
How has it been like this week, heading up to the game against the same opponents that you had last week? Districts.
We haven't seen each other. We had a bit of team review, the girls just do a Zoom meeting, team review on Tuesdays. So a few of the girls got together for that, but we haven't seen each other yet. Our trainings are on Wednesdays and Fridays. So we'll see each other tonight for our main session, and sort of gauge the feeling of the girls. But I think we're feeling like pretty good. We sort of got our work cut out for us. It's almost like we've had a practice game. We know how to, the same way they would know how to play us, we know how to play them. So it's just going to be who shows up for the day, and should be an interesting contest, I reckon.
Teams had some massive wins. I think it seems like every game became an elimination game in the last 3 weeks to make the finals. Now, obviously, you've had big scalps on the way. You beat, obviously, Swans to get in. You played Claremont, not Claremont, Subiaco the week before and beat them. And obviously, you beat, I think it was Claremont or South Fremantle the week before and beat them as well to get in as well. How important was the last 3 games in regards to preparation for the final series?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think we had a little bit of a mission brown patch there where we couldn't quite, get the results that we wanted. We had, 2 or 3 games in a row there that we lost. So when we came up against Claremont, which was it was my first win of the season, because I didn't play that first game against South Fremantle. So that game against Claremont that we won, that was a bit of a turning point for us, I think, and sort of set a bit of a standard for where we need to be playing at. And then same again against Subi, who are, Subiaco are the benchmark for the women's this year. They've just been a powerhouse this season. So for us to get that win, I think it just installed a bit of confidence in the girls. And I think it was just needed, and a bit of gameplay against really good competition to lead us into finals.
Any injury worries at the moment for the team heading to finals?
No, Phil Seth went down last week with a little bit of a knee injury. She's not too worried about it. She'll be up and ready to go come AFLW season, come pre-season for her. So she'll be fine. But, we won't have her for the rest of the finals campaign, which is, that's a pretty big loss. She's a gun for us. She's been playing through the midfield. But otherwise, we're pretty good, I think. We'll have Huzza back through the mid, so that's a massive in. She was out with a broken nose a couple weeks ago. I think that was against Subi maybe. So we got some ins, and I think we're pretty good. I don't think we lost anyone over the weekend, so I think we were all pretty battered and bruised. It was a pretty hard at it game, and I think Swans could probably say the same. It was bloody tough, but I think we're in pretty good stead going into finals.
Now, of course, even though you weren't part of the team that won back-to-back in the last 2 years, because obviously you played in the premiership down here in Victoria last season, I
didn't get to play in it. I was injured, so I was co-captain of that side with Grace Buchan, who was the premiership captain on the day. So we were co-captains, and halfway through the season, I tore my PCL in my knee, and that ended up being like a 14-week injury. So that was I didn't actually get to play in that, but I was so proud of I was there on the day, and it was pretty tough to watch on the sidelines, wanting to be a part of it, but it was pretty special for the girls, and Collingwood's first real women's success, which was awesome.
Obviously, I'll get back to the rest of it. You just beat me to it on that one. But obviously, going back to the East Fremantle one, how's the pressure been trying to defend a back-to-back premiership going for a three-peat this year?
I think personally for me, I don't feel it. Obviously, as you said, it's a new season for me. It's my first time back at East Freo since I got drafted, which the year that year that I got drafted was the year we lost to Swans in the premiership. I think that was the 2016 premiership. So we went down to Swans and that. So it's almost like a bit of a sour taste in my mouth from that, maybe, like a bit of unfinished business for me. So I think I'm just sort of going in with I'm not expecting too much. I'm not building it up too much in my head. And I think the girls are trying to sort of keep that separate as well. Like they know what they've done the last 2 years have been awesome, and they know that they've been the benchmark. And, from the start of this season, we probably dropped off that benchmark a little bit, and the girls acknowledged that. But yeah, all we can do is try create a bit more history and take each game as it comes, I guess.
Now, of course, we'll go back to last year. Now, you mentioned that you were out injured for 14 weeks of the VFL women's season, of course, before Collingwood, and obviously win the premiership. What did that mean to you, even though you weren't part of that grand final side?
Oh, it was so good. I mean, like as one of the foundation players at Collingwood who, is still there. I think there's only 5 of us left that were there from that first draft coming into this year. So, like, watching that, it was harder. Like, it was really hard for me to watch that as well. Like, I was so proud, but I just wanted to be out there so bad. But it was so good obviously it'd been a pretty tough 3 years of footy for the Collingwood AFLW. So, and then the year before in VFL where we went through the season undefeated and then was out in straight sets in the finals, it sort of felt like a few years of disappointment where, we got to go in and, we were the best that last year, and to take out that best honour, that it was just all the girls were so chuffed, and everyone at the club was really proud, and it was just really good to see some achievement come out of it and a bit of growth from each of the players and stuff like that. So it was really good.
I have to ask, even though I know you didn't play in the grand final, number one, did you end up getting a medal for being a co-captain? And number two, did you get to hold the Premiership Cup?
The girls are good. So you don't get only the girls that play on the day get a medal and get up on stage and get awarded and stuff. But the girls were so good. We had obviously drinks afterwards and a big celebration, and we had the cup there, and a few of the girls put their medals around my neck, which was nice of them. So, still absolutely feel part of the team and feel like, I've done my part to build up towards that premiership as well. And every girl that put a jersey on that season, they played their own little part in getting us there. So, what's been happening here in the lockdown here in Melbourne? Obviously, you've gone back home to Perth to play for your local team over there before you came back to Victoria. Obviously, that sees Freo. I guess, was it a real tough decision to you to return home? Not at all. So I was actually going to return home anyway before everything went down. So I went to Collingwood, and because it's coming up to 5 years of me. This will be my 5th season at Collingwood when I come back for pre-season. And, I moved over when I was 18 years old, and I hadn't been home for more than, a couple of weeks since moving away. So, and I'm very much a homebody. I'm super close with my family. I love WA. So I sort of said to the club, I need a bit of a breather, I think, and I think it'll be really good for me I do get homesick during the winter season when I am playing VFL. Like I love playing VFL and I love the girls, but it's a very small part of the weeks. It's not like AFL where a lot of your time is taken up by it, after work and stuff. Your VFL, you're training twice a week for, 2 hours each, and then you wait for the weekend to play. So a lot of homesickness creeped in then. So I said to Collingwood, I said, look, I love the club and I want to be a part of the club for a very long time. But for me to do that, I think I need to go home over this winter and, just get a taste of home. And they were awesome. They said, yep, absolutely. As long as you're coming back to us, we're happy for you to go home and, get grounded again and sort of do what you got to do, which is, it just sort of worked out that everything with coronavirus happened and everyone was going home anyway. So, the club were really good with that. So, that might be something that I keep doing now with it's gone really well, and I'm loving being home in this winter part. So it's not really winter in Perth. We still get 25-degree days, and it's a hell of a lot nicer than being over in Victoria and it being bloody 5 degrees when I'm waking up in the morning. So but yeah, no, that's something we'll look into further, next season and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't a tough decision at all. I love being home, but I am looking forward to getting back and getting stuck into it with Collingwood again. I miss the club.
Now, I guess, do you have a message to your Victorian fans down here that are stuck in lockdown at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if I'd have many, fans as much as, just friends and everyone in Victoria that I'm thinking of. And, it is very tough. We were pretty fortunate over here only to have it for a few weeks before it settled down, and, life's pretty much back to normal here again. But, we are thinking of them, and it's bloody tough, and keep checking in with each other. I'm making sure I'm checking in with all my mates and stuff over there. And yeah, check in with each other, have a chat if you need to, and hopefully it won't be too long until it looks like it's already starting to settle down, which is really good and really encouraging to see the numbers get lower. So stick at it, you're doing really well. And yeah.
Now, tell us, what does the sport of footy mean to you now, considering what you've already achieved? Obviously making the finals and making the grand final for East Freo. Hopefully another chance to get there again and obviously win it all. But obviously being part of Collingwood and being part of winning their first ever WAFLW premiership.
Yeah, well, I think I feel like I haven't achieved that much yet. I'm only 22, and personally, I haven't personally won a premiership yet. So I feel like I have a lot of unfinished business. I feel like I've been so close, and I've just had my opportunities taken away. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, with East we get another crack this year. But I mean, the main goal is, my focus is AFLW. As soon as that season comes around, that's all of my energy goes there. I wouldn't move across the country just to be a part of it. I want success for the club, and we've come a long way in the last 4 years with what we're building at the club and with the characters that we have at the club now. We've built a really good culture, and all the girls are really happy to be a part of it. So, it makes me proud to think that I'm a part of that as well, and a part of the culture that we've built there. But we've got a lot of unfinished business to do, and for me personally, I need to work to get my body right. I haven't had a great run with injuries and stuff. So, work and tick all the boxes, get my body right so I can, give the team my best, and give myself the best opportunity at, getting as far as we can into the season, and hopefully end up with a premiership.
What is special about being there at East Freo for you?
My opportunities came out of East Freo. Webbo, Nikki Harwood, who is the coach at East Freo now, she gave me my first opportunity at Collingwood when she was her wife, actually, Steph Walding, who was a gun player. She played in the Melbourne Western Bulldogs exhibition games. Steph was originally the league coach for my first year of league, and that year that we lost to Swans Districts in 2016. And Nikki was obviously watching pretty closely, being Steph's wife. And she, after that grand final, originally they said the draft was going to be, AFLW was going to be 2020, and it got moved forward. And there was only that sort of couple months where they went, all right, first draft's happening October. And that sort of I didn't even think that was a possibility for me. I was just a 18-year-old who'd, taken footy seriously for about a year. And I was still playing basketball at the time. It's not that I was all footy. I was sort of juggling. And yeah, Nikki was the first one to text me and say that, she'd just been announced as the Collingwood's AFLW midfield coach, their inaugural midfield coach. And she gave me a text and said, what do you reckon about coming across to Collingwood with me? And I thought she was taking the mickey, to be honest. I didn't think I was a chance. And then she said, let's catch up for coffee. And, we sat down, and she said, yeah, I'm mentioning your name to Wayne Seekman, Collingwood's head coach, who also, plays a massive part in giving me my opportunity. But yeah, like the fact that I can sort of come back to Nikki and, you know, be playing under her, and when she is the one that got me over to Collingwood, you know, I appreciate her so much, and all that she's done for me and pushing my, you know, sporting career in the right direction. So to come back and, you know, for her to be a head coach and be able to play under her again, you know, it's a great feeling. And you know, East Fremantle is a great club. You know, my brother played there for a while, and used to love just going down and watching. And you know, the women's culture that we've built there is really good. So yeah, I love being back with them.
Now, I'm hoping my information is correct, but do you have a younger sister that plays in the Rogers Cup team at the moment?
Yeah, Mia Schleicher.
Tell us, now I know I think they're pretty much bound for finals as well, very close to bound for finals. Do you get to watch her play, and especially, you know, and especially how their team's travelling at the moment?
I haven't gone down to watch them play. It's pretty tricky when you know, they play at, you know, whatever it is, like 9:30 a.m. You want to stick to your, you know, schedule of your routine of how you prepare for a game. So, you know, for me, I'm usually trying to eat brekkie, you know, 3 hours before my game. We'll get something in there. So I try to, you know, relax and stuff. So it's pretty tricky if I went and watched her, you know, and then by the time I get home and do all that and then have to race back out after the reserves game, it sort of probably stresses out the day a little bit. So I haven't gone down to watch her this year, but you know, when we could, like when she played a little bit of state footy and she was playing for WA and they went across and played in Adelaide, I flew over from Melbourne and met the family in Adelaide, so I got to watch her play in that, which was awesome. And you know, keep tabs on her pretty closely anyway. And you know, she doesn't stop talking about it when we get home anyway. So it's not that I miss anything.
That's fair enough. Now, what would be your advice to our listeners over in Perth that should come down and watch the Mighty Sharks play in, obviously, as I mentioned, the elimination final, and obviously hopefully support the Sharks and to eliminate the Swans 2 games early?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love the support. It's always really good to see a good crowd down there. And, you know, at East Freo, if it's a terrible day, you can park your car up around the ground. So it's no excuse about being worried about it raining. You know, it's actually pretty nice to sit up in the car on the hill there. And, you know, if we kick a goal, give us a beat. And yeah, we love all that. So the support would be really appreciated. You know, it's 2 good teams going at it. So we'll be sure to give it a good crack for you and try and make it a good contest to watch.
Now, obviously the season started a bit later than normal because of what happened with the COVID situation. 2-part question to ask you. Number 1, were you optimistic that this season was ever going to start? And number 2, what did the team sort of do to, I guess, work towards where you're at right now?
It was everything was changing every week. So it's the same with anything that was going on in the world at the time. Like, no one knew what was happening day to day, let alone week to week. You know, circumstances were changing so much. So yeah, absolutely. I was very skeptical that, you know, we were going to have a season. You know, we were coming out of the AFL season. All we could do was keep our fitness up in the case that there was. And, you know, we're really fortunate that they managed to pull together a season for us. You know, I feel for the girls over in Vic that, you know, are going to have to go into a pre-season without playing since March. You know, that's pretty tough. So, but yeah, that's hard. People don't realise how hard it is, you know, training towards something that, I mean, you look at like the Olympians who train towards something for 4 years and they've had to miss out. So that's nothing compared to what they have to do. But you know, in our circumstances, having to train, you know, run by ourselves for, you know, 7 months, you know, working on our fitness for something that might not happen, you know, it's a pretty tricky circumstance. But yeah, in the way of preparing for this season, you know, once restrictions eased off a little bit, we could start training in smaller groups. So we just organised that down at East Fremantle, where I think we could have groups of 10 on either side of the field. So 20 girls on the field at once, but we had to be separated. So once we could start doing that, it was good, you know, and it was still no tackling or things, but it was just nice to have people to kick the footy with, really. And then, yeah, after that, restrictions eased off pretty quickly. So, you know, once we knew we had a season to look forward to, we were pretty much hammer and tong working towards that.
Now, I spoke to my Queensland footballer ambassador about the same question I'm about to ask you in regards to the groups, as you just mentioned. I guess, how difficult was that at the start, and when did you sort of got used to going back into normal training?
It was just weird at the start. Like, it was, you know, it's like nothing you've ever done before. Footy, you're meant to be hitting each other and you're high-fiving and you're getting around each other, especially at trainings, you know, you're high-fiving everyone. But so it was really, you know, you had to be really conscious, and, you know, for everything to go ahead, you had to be really diligent with it, because, you know, they had WAFL delegates coming down to make sure everyone was doing the right thing at different clubs. So, you know, we adjusted to it really well. And I think, you know, you do what you got to do to have a season. So we were just happy to be training with each other at the end. And then, yeah, I mean, once we could start tackling each other again, it was like a breath of fresh air. I think after we had like our first sort of scrimmage at the training, once we could start, you know, tackling again, I think there was some pretty sore bodies after that, as you can imagine, you know, first time being hit in a while. But yeah, we all got conditioned to it pretty quickly.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
I would be up there with my I tripped in my last game that I played, but that I got injured. So, yeah, I had a pretty broken up season of AFLW where I, you know, missed the first few games with a knee injury, and then played here against Fremantle, got through that game, and then we were playing on Marble Stadium against Melbourne. And I've marked the footy, I've tripped over backwards, like running back off the mark to kick the footy, tripped over my own feet and put my hand out to stop me from falling with the ball under my other arm. And I've actually broken my wrist doing that. And in that, I can hear my teammate Ash Braz absolutely killing herself laughing behind me. So I tried to play it off knowing there's TV cameras on me, going like, all right, just get up, you know, have a giggle about it. So I got up, took my kick, and I ran straight over to the bench. I said, I think I've just broken my wrist. And sure enough, I had. So that took a while to live down for the girls. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to run backwards at trainings anymore. I have to be very careful. But so that wasn't too good. I copped a fair bit for that. I got a pretty decent fine for that one.
Oh, no. Have you actually watched it back?
Oh, yeah. I put it up on my Instagram when there's a video of it up on my Instagram. It's pretty, because once my mates back in Perth got a hold of it, they were never going to let me live it down. So they zoomed in on it, and they've got a good video of me on there. So yeah, it's over on my Instagram. It's not great. I don't think everyone knows that that's when I broke my wrist. I think they thought it was an incident later in the game because I tried to go back on. But no, it was actually that moment. So rather than it being really cool, like a really cool, you know, spoil or something, it was actually I just tripped over my own feet and broke it like that.
Now, who's the comedian in your East Freo team?
In the East Freo team, there's a few girls that come out with some funny stuff. Say Cato would be up there. Who else? Everyone's got a bit of cheek about them, but Cato's pretty witty and clever.
Who's the best singer and dancer at East Freo?
Dancer, I'm gonna have to say me. If you see any of the girls' Insta stories pre-game. I'm always having a boogie. I'm not someone who likes to sit still before a game. So, yeah, I'm always grooving and doing something. Singer, not too sure with singer. We're going to have a karaoke night, I reckon. And I'll have to get back to you on that one. I haven't witnessed enough of the girls singing.
Now,
maybe I'll fling Ash Gomes' name in there because I reckon she could just have some sort of secret pipes that no one knows about. So I'll just throw her under the bus. And I'll just have to get some video footage or something to prove it.
all right, I might do my research on that one because we've had Ash on the show before, so I might see if she actually said that herself. Now, I know this is this thing called TikTok at the moment. Are you on to that? And of course, is any of your teammates use it so often?
Not too sure. I have it, but I don't have an account. Like I you know, you don't need an account to just watch it. So I just scroll through and look at some of the videos. No, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure about. I feel like Kato would be one that uses it a lot. I feel like she would definitely. I feel like she'd be someone that would attempt all the dances in her own private time as well and try and perfect them so that she can whip them out in the nightclub or something. I wouldn't expect. I'd expect that from her. But yeah, not too sure. I'll have to snoop through some of their phones, I reckon.
Well, we'll get back to that one as we get closer to the end of the year. Now, two final ones before I let you go. Of course, firstly, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Really? I think when I'm strapping, I strap my own ankles. So when I'm strapping my ankles, I always go left foot first, then right foot, then I put on my left sock, then my right sock, then left boot, right boot. So that's just something that I do. I'm not sure if it's as much a superstition as what I just do. Like, but I definitely, if I have a good game, I definitely try and copy exactly what I've done that day and try to think about, all right, what did I have for dinner the night before, you know, but that nothing that really sticks out at me that I'm like, oh, I have to do that sort of thing.
And we'll finish off with this last one, which is how special is to have Smash FM as your player sponsor this year?
Oh, it's so appreciated. It means so much. You know, all the girls love it when, you know, we have sponsors that get behind us. So, yeah, I really appreciate you getting behind me and Smash FM getting behind me for this season. And hopefully we can reward you with getting the Premiership Cup.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully a three-peat's on its way. Obviously, the finals campaign starts this week. But, Ruby, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. Please send our best wishes to your teammates for us, and let's hope this weekend against Swans can be a repeat of what happened last weekend, but hopefully with a bigger margin than 3 points. And then hopefully you can progress to play either Subiaco or Peel in the prelim final.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for getting behind us again, and it's been a pleasure.
No worries. And that's Ruby there, of course, our player sponsored as well as our ambassador over there in the West. Of course, if you're over there, of course, and in Perth in particular, make sure you get down there to watch the grand final replay of 2019 between Swan and East Fremantle. Of course, we'll put all the details up on our social media, how you can go about going along and attend and support the Mighty Sharks in 2020. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away. Here on Lockdown Wednesday.